For this video, I'm going to model solving ratio problems with before and after relationships. The math in it is not going to be particularly difficult, but they can be somewhat confusing if you don't have an example of how to set it up. An example of this type of problem is the Business District Hotel caters to people who travel for different types of business trips. On Saturday night, there is not a lot of business travel, so the ratio of the number of occupied rooms to the number of unoccupied rooms is 2 to 5. However, on Sunday night, the ratio of the number of occupied rooms to the number of unoccupied rooms is 6 to 1 due to the number of business people attending a large conference in the area. If the Business Direct Hotel has 432 occupied rooms on Sunday night, how many unoccupied rooms does it have on Saturday night? If you would like to pause the video and see if you can tackle this problem on your own and then compare it to the strategies that I use, you may. As you can see, there's a lot to digest in these types of problems. They're very wordy. And there's also two different ratios, so it can be a challenge to figure out how to use it. Unlike I typically do, I'm going to start modeling this problem using a tape diagram, just so I can make one point. So it's comparing two things and two different days. So if we start by looking on Saturday night, so I'm actually going to represent this in a different area. So I'm going to say Saturday night, and I'm going to put that over here. And I'm going to represent it occupied to unoccupied. Occupied to unoccupied. Of course, the text isn't coming out clearly, but the ratio of occupied to unoccupied is 2 to 5. So it would look something like this. Right next to it, I'm going to make a tape diagram for Sunday night. And I'm going to keep it in a consistent order. And the ratio goes up to 6 to 1. So now it's almost completely reversed, but there's a note I want to make about how many blocks are in each part and why using this model or a table will be able to work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 to 1. The very important point that I want to make about using this type of model is if you notice on Saturday night and Sunday night we have the same number of blocks in the ratio of occupied and unoccupied. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on Saturday night and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on Sunday night. This is not a coincidence. This is necessary for this type of before and after ratio problem to work. Because if I had 8 on Sunday night, now we would not be able to say the value of each one of these unit bars or unit blocks would be the same. They wouldn't be equivalent to each other. So these are equivalent ratios in the sense that each of these blocks will have the same value. And knowing that now, you can go ahead and solve where it says the Business Direct Hotel has 432 occupied rooms on Sunday night. So there's 432 occupied rooms on Sunday night, so this would equal 432, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so you would need to do 432 divided by 6 to get the value of each one. And that the value of each one is 72, which means that these blocks, there's 7 of them as well, So they're also going to have a value of 72. So how many unoccupied rooms does it have on Saturday night? How many unoccupied? Well, that's going to be this section, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks that are 72. So it'd be 72 times 5, which is 360. And that would be the answer. Now, when I do this type of problem, although I modeled it with a tape diagram, I typically do a table. But just like you did with, I wanted to do a tape diagram so you could understand that relationship in it being the same number of blocks, because that's the only way a problem like this works. So if you do a table, you're going to wind up doing two tables, just like you did over here. You're going to have a section for Saturday, and it's going to be occupied to unoccupied, and it's going to be 2 to 5, and then Sunday will be unoccupied, will be 6 to 1, and then you'd be moving that side up to 432, so you'd be multiplying by 72, and whatever you're doing to one side, you're going to do to the rest of them. So you're going to multiply this by 72, and that's how you come up with the answer of 360. So tables work for this as well. When I do it, I'm kind of a table guy. But know the reason that tables work also is because you have a total of 7 parts in that relationship of occupied, unoccupied for both Saturday and Sunday. So you can use this information to solve the problem set problems.